What's up, YouTube? This is DFishFan, and this wouldn't be my channel if I didn't post Gravkeeper videos for you guys. So sorry, it's been a while since I've brought you guys a GK deck profile or duel or anything like that. But I guarantee you that is going to change in the near future. The honest reason as to why I haven't been playing or been posting GK videos is because I haven't really been playing GKs lately. I've been trying to get back into the game, obviously, and by doing so I've been learning the newer archetypes and then revisiting some older archetypes to see how they fare against the newer archetypes. All in the meanwhile, I felt very comfortable with GK still. Every time I did pick them up, I've only played them, a few games so far. Everything seemed to flow smoothly, so I didn't really feel that there was a necessity to really focus on GKs at the moment. But now that I'm getting a lot more familiar with the format and what's going on with the newer archetypes and stuff, I think it's about that time to play a little GKs, right? Alright, so for this video, I want to bring you guys my updated Gravekeeper's deck profile. And since it has been so long, I also included the side deck for this one. Usually my deck profiles mainly only do the extra and main, but for this one, this is about roughly what I would side for the current format. So yeah, let's go ahead and get on with it. All right, so for the main deck list, let's just rush through it really quick, and I'll talk about any cards I want to talk about when I do. Oh shit. Okay, so first, one ambusher, triple commandants, double descendant, triple spy, triple recruiter, and double nobleman. The double nobleman is something I really kind of don't want to run, but it's just getting out that spy is really, really, really good. So for the spells, Dark Hole, Royal Tribute, Triple Duality, Triple Stell, Book of Moon, and double Spellbook of Wisdom, Triple Necro Valley as well. I think. What did I say? I don't know. I felt like I said Necro Valley twice there. Nonetheless, that's it for the spells. Traps, Bottomless, Torrential, Double Deep Prison, Compulse, Double Vanity's Emptiness, Phoenix Chain, Double Wiretap, Solemn Warning, and one Necro Valley Tomb or Imperial Tombs. So for the extra deck, triple Cyber End Dragon, one Crazy Box, one Ouroboros, one Key Beetle, one Ragna Zero, one Black Ship, one 101, one 82, Steel Swarm Roach, Exciton, Abyss Dweller, Acid Golem, and Zenmates. For the side deck, double Cyber End, double Gravekeeper Shaman, which I will get to, double Space Typhoon, double Chain Dispel, double Mistake, triple Skill Drain, and double Debunk. Alright, you guys, so let's go ahead and talk about the main deck first. This might be a fairly long video. Alright, so for the main deck, as you can see, I'm still keeping my same formula that I have with so many GK deck profiles over my history with this deck. Double Descendant, Triple Spy, Triple Stell. It just works so well, and I have yet to see evidence to argue against it. Well, actually, I've seen evidence, but it's not enough for me to. It's not enough to convince me. The +1 that I get off the Stell helps entirely so much, not only mid game but late game especially. It's really a great top deck. It's better than a Descendant top deck, that's for damn sure. And it makes so much plays because you don't have to just get the Spy or Descendant. You can get the Commandant and get that Necro Valley. You can revive you can get the Recruiter back to your hand or the Nobleman now, and search for your boss cards. Your level 4 boss cards. Yes, that's GKs. Welcome to GKs, home of the GKs. Royal Tribute's obviously still a thing. That is going to be amazing, in my opinion, this format. Double Spellbook of Wisdom stays in here just to avoid the destruction of your Descendant for the most part. It really does help out a lot. It's an underrated card for this archetype, and I'm really glad that the Kali Effects mentioned it to me way back when. I do run the one Ambusher. It's kind of too good not to, because although it's a lot easier to keep Necro Valley on board nowadays because of the change to field spells, which thank you Konami once again, it's still a good late game card, and it's still a 2200 beater level 4, which is quite nice if you have Necro Valley out there. So that's that. Let's see here. Oh, double wiretaps are something I decided to run. It's just because Gravekeepers, from my experience, they're not the greatest dealing with other back row heavy decks. Now, that's not to say that they can't grind. They can probably grind over 90% of the decks out there, but it makes it a lot easier if you have these wiretaps. That's what I've noticed. I'm very confident going against back row heavy decks, but you never know. What if they have that emptiness that stops your spy? What if they have that deep prison that banishes your recruiter? It really sets you back a lot more. So that wiretap can actually come in hugely. It just makes the matchup so much easier. So yeah, definitely. I'm liking 2. I've considered dropping it down to 1. One of the things that I really want to add it, but I just can't find the room is Allure of Darkness, because I have plenty of targets with this deck. It does speed it up somewhat. I've considered taking out maybe a Wisdom or a Wiretap or a Phoenix Chain, or the one Phoenix Chain, but I've talked myself out of it every time, and for the time being I think I'm gonna go ahead and keep it like this. But if you guys are wondering, Allure of Darkness would be the next on the list right in here. Or if you guys are comfortable with running 41 cards, I am not. I do not like 41 cards in any of my decks. I understand that some people really like it, so if you want to run the 41, I would probably recommend the Allure. So let's see, the double emptiness obviously is humongous. This card's absolutely amazing. The most expensive common I've ever seen in Yu-Gi-Oh! For good reason. It's a controllable royal oppression if you play it right. So yeah, it's like a hobo man's version of royal oppression now, which is good because royal oppression was fucking broken in my opinion. Lastly, we got the Necro Valley Tomb. Some of you are probably wondering why I am not running more. I know a lot of people run the Shrine and Imperial Tombs at least 2. I just, although it isn't, I'm not saying it's hard to keep out the Necro Valley and the Gravekeeper monster. It's just not ideal. And there are some cases where you're not able to. If they have that one MST, then this card is dead until you get another Necro Valley. Or if they're keeping your 14 monsters off the field, which isn't that hard to do, then this card's dead until you draw a Gravekeeper monster. So I would rather put in the Wiretap, the Phoenix Chain, the Vandy's Emptiness, the Deep Prison, stuff that actually is live. For the most part, wiretaps can be dead for a while at times, but the stuff that's live from the get-go, pretty much. That's not saying that I'm totally against running more of these. It's just for right now, the playtesting I've done, 1 seems to be pretty good. When I get it off, it usually means game, or at least it usually means a lot of control from that point on, because you can negate practically anything. So definitely considering running more, but for the time being, 1 is just fine. So the extra deck, not much to talk about. The Ouroboros is just in case you get it off with Spy. It's not too hard, but it's very unlikely. Crazy Box is in there for skill drains along with Acid Golem. Those cards, if you have the extra deck room, which this deck of course has, it's definitely beneficial to run those because they're huge beaters. Let's see here. Heartland Draco, definitely an improvement over Cowboy in my opinion, and you almost always have a field spell, the Necro Valley, out there, so you can get this card to attack directly and whittle them down 2,000 at a time. Abyss Dweller is obviously huge against a lot of matchups nowadays, so he's going to be your main extra deck go-to, or 101. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Some of you might be asking why I still run Roach. The reason being is because against Lightsworn decks in the past, it's almost only for JD, really. And because I have the extra deck room, Lightsworn Rulers are still pretty prominent just because they're so cheap to make and how effective they are for being so cheap. So for that reason, I would run the Steel Swarm Roach, especially at local level, but I would still probably run it at the regional YCS level just for the fact that if I do run into Lightsworn Roller, that's pretty much all they have against me. My Necro Valley shuts them down. My back row deals with a lot of issues. They pretty much only have that JD or big plays like that, and Steel Swarm Roach just completely negates that from being an option. So that's definitely why I would run in. All right, let's go on with the side deck, you guys. As you can see, I'm still running the Cyber End Skill Drain combo in my side deck. It's just one of those things I can't really get away from comfortably. It's really good. It gives you a huge beater by itself, which is something that Gravekeepers do not have. Gravekeepers inherently need Necro Valley to become beaters. Well, Cyberend just says, okay, I'm 4,000, so you can deal with that now. Really, really good. Obviously, with Skill Drain, he doesn't have the limiting effect that only he can attack. So it actually opens up more plays as well. So two Gravekeeper Shamans. So you may be asking, what the fuck is this card doing in here? It's not very good. Well, I disagree. I think it's pretty situationally good. It gains 200 for each Gravekeeper monster in the graveyard. Meh, whatever. It can be a little bit of a beater, I guess. Negate all monster effects that activate in the graveyard except Gravekeeper monsters. That is fucking huge right there. So as you can probably think, this is for the Burning Abyss and Shadow matchup, which is obviously very prominent right now. So Gravekeeper Shaman can severely reduce the impact that those cards in their graveyard have on the game. Also, it's searchable by Spy, so not very hard to play at all. I can get it out with Disciple or Spy. Disciple, of course, if I can protect it for next turn, where I would flip it. And also, it does have another effect that when Necro Valley is on the field, your opponent cannot activate field spells, and field spells can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So, you know, it's just more protection for Necro Valley, which is always very nice. So I'm trying it out right now. I haven't done extensive side decking play testing just because I haven't been playing this deck that much recently. But this definitely comes to the first thing that came to mind when Shadow's when I was thinking, shit, what should I side for Shadows? Because that, by the way, that matchup is a problem for this deck. We can deal with it, but there are some times where they just get the outs because they activate in the graveyard. They don't really manipulate the graveyard. So Shaman was one of the first things that came to mind. All right, let's go on with the side deck. So double MST. Obviously, this is mainly for side decking for their side deck because usually the answer to GKs is some type of back row, whether it's Shadow Imprisoning Mirror or Skill Drain, which most people don't expect me to side Skill Drain, but nonetheless, or Skill Drain, something to that effect, and I can just MST it. So that's that. Chain Dispel. This is a newer card that I really enjoy. A friend of mine, coworker of mine at the card shop is Yoshi. He told me about Chain Dispel, and this card was made for me. I love it. It's like Chain Disappearance for spell and traps. Makes it so much more convenient. Obviously, you don't really want to Chain Dispel the Shadow Fusion because they have a way to get it back. But you know, for most other matchups, this is probably a really good card that can really catch people off guard. For example, Tanky. You know, I've Chain Dispelled Tanky and they lost both their searchers, so now they only have that single Tanky that they've already activated. So that's a really good instance. Mirror Match. Hey, Mirror matches are still alive. I don't know about in this deck, but mirror matches are still alive in general. Chain Dispel can do a lot of work because you know which spell or trap you're going to need in the future. So you just Chain Dispel it, and there you go. So let's move on. Mistake. Obviously, this is for the plethora of decks that add cards from their deck to their hand or search cards now. This just stops it out. I mean, I was thinking about, I believe it's called Shared Ride, which is kind of like a maxi for it, but I've thought about it. I thought about it a little bit, and Maxi was never even really good in this deck because you didn't really want to draw the card. Okay, of course it doesn't hurt to have the cards in your hand, but GKs mainly focus on field control. That's the point of this deck, is you want to shut down the field, lock it down for your opponent, and have full control. So Mistake just adds to that, and Shared Ride would have just added hand control, which, you know, of course helps, but I think Mistake fits this deck playstyle much better. So the triple skill drains, you guys should pretty much know the skill drain wrecks a lot of formats. In my opinion, this one is included. I think it's really good for a lot of the decks that are out there. And yeah, I still side deck 3. And lastly, the debunk. You can side deck it against a lot of things right now. Anything that activates in the graveyard or the hand. Yes, I'm looking at you, Bujins. Yes, I'm looking at you, Shaddoll's or Burning Abyss. You can just negate the effect and banish it. So that's a really, really good option to have. So yeah, you guys, thanks for watching this video. I'm sure this has been a long deck profile, but I wanted to get everything covered since I haven't had a GK video in so long. So definitely expect some more GK videos in the future. I'm excited for it. I love these guys. Definitely my all-time favorite archetype in Yu-Gi-Oh! By far. And I look forward to having some fun with this deck in the future. So thanks you guys for watching. Remember to like the video, comment down below what you guys think, any suggestions, anything you want to talk about. You know, how's life? That's good. I'm glad to hear. So also subscribe. And this has been DFishFan, and I'll talk to you guys later.